This is Algebra 2, Chapter 1, Section 5, in which we will be solving inequalities. Solving inequalities is just the same idea as solving equations. You're trying to get the variable by itself, with one very important exception. So important that I'm going to make it flash. And I've got bold lettering and red to draw your attention. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, then you have to switch the inequality. You have to flip the sign around. So greater than becomes less than becomes greater than. That's if you multiply or divide by a negative number. Then you switch the inequality. Otherwise, solving them is the same as it was, and graphing them is a piece of cake. All you have to do is have a number line. And you'll see in a minute it doesn't even have to be a full number line. We have y minus 6 less than 3 that we need to solve, and then graph. Well, add 6 over, y is less than 9. We didn't say multiply by anything, we didn't divide by anything. So we're okay, we don't have to switch the sign. Y is less than 9. Now we need to graph this on a number line. So I'm going to put 9 on my number line. If you want to put more numbers, 8, 7, 6 to the left, 10, 11, 12 to the right, whatever, that's fine. If you want to put extra numbers, go for it. But all you have to have is the 9. And then we're going to put a circle. And we're going to leave it open because this does not say or equal to. It just says less than. Now from 9, the numbers that are less than 9 are to your left. 8, 7, 6, 5, all the way down. Those are all less than 9. So that's the direction we want to shade. A simple rule to follow: if your variable is on the left, which is where I like to get my variable in these problems, if your variable's on the left, then the direction that the sign points, less than, matches the direction of the arrow, if your variable is on the left. Well, let's tangle with another one. We've got variables on both sides. 5x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 4x plus 2. Well, our job is simple. We need to get the variables to one side, the numbers to the other. So I'm going to subtract the 4x over, and then add the 3, and I get x is greater than or equal to 5. I didn't multiply by anything negative, I didn't divide by anything negative, so I don't have to change my sign. So I've got a valid solution. Now I need to graph it. Your number line is going to have 5. This time our circle is filled in because it says or equal to. And we want numbers greater than 5. That's to the right. So I'm going to ask you to pause here, try this problem. 5w plus 3 is greater than 4w plus 9. Solve it, come back, check your answer. Well, just like before, we'll move the variables to the left and the numbers to the right. We get w greater than 6. It's an open circle because it's not equal to, and then greater numbers go to the right. Let's see what else we can get into where we have to do some flipping. And we've got negative 4.2x is less than or equal to negative 29.4. To get x alone, we have to divide by negative 4.2 on both sides. Now I just heard divide by negative. And when you multiply or divide by a negative number, the sign switches. So less than or equal became greater than or equal. So x is greater than or equal to 7. The graph of that is a filled-in circle at 7, pointing toward greater numbers, which is pointing to the right. Let's try one that's even more complicated. We have negative 4c is less than 5c plus 58 all over 6. And we have to do a little work to get this out of the way. So I'm going to start by multiplying by the 6 on both sides to get it out of the denominator. Now we'll move the 5c over. Divide by negative 29 on both sides, which means we have to flip the sign around to c greater than negative 2. And then, of course, the graph points to the right because we're looking for greater numbers, and it's not filled in because it's not or equal to. We have one more that we're going to do together, and then we'll let you practice one and see how we did. We have negative 6 times negative 4v plus 3 is less than or equal to 2 times 10v plus 3. Since we have all these parentheses going on, our first job is to distribute. So we'll distribute out the negative 6 on the left, and we'll distribute the 2 on the right. We'll subtract the 20v over to the left, add the 18 over to the right, divide by 4. We didn't divide by anything negative, so we don't have to change the sign. V is less than or equal to 6. So we'll go to 6 on our number line, fill it in because it's or equal to, and then we want numbers less than 6, lesser numbers go to the left. So we'll ask again for you to pause here and tangle with this problem. Negative 5 times 3d minus 7 is greater than 3 times 2d plus 14. Solve that problem, graph it, and then come back and check your answer. As before, we distributed. On both sides, we subtracted the 6d over. We subtracted the 35 over while we were at it. And then we divided by negative 21, and the division signs got left out. Apologies there. Since we divided by negative, we have to flip the sign to make it a negative 1/3. And again, as before, lesser numbers go to the left, not filled in because it was not equal to. So we solved inequalities here, a skill that you already basically have. Remember to flip your sign if you multiply or divide by a negative number. Remember to get your variable to the left, and it makes your graphing easier. If you put your variable on the right, you have to think about it a little more. Filled in circles when it's equal to, and dot filled in when it's not. As always, if you had questions, hopefully you wrote those down. Bring those in, and we will see you in class.